Okay, this door is raising. Now this one just latched. I don't know if you saw what was going on here. I kind of like redo it, but I showed this to my client when they were here earlier. I disengaged these, all right, both of these, to see how they're going, and this door closed all the way, so that way when I touch the button,
this door does not close,
I have to re-ignition it. Okay, so then this door remained open, and that's a good thing, because now we know that our spring, okay, our counter tension spring is working. So we can bring the door down this way, like I had it, like you saw it when I first started this. And so that tells me that this is counterbalancing so that the motor doesn't work too hard. This door was all the way closed, and so because the counterbalance does not hold it open. So then when I went and I re-engaged these, and this one just jumped right on up because it never moved. Because I mean, I raised the door and it fell down, I raised the door, it fell down, raised the door, it fell down. But it went right back to its original position, so that way that one just jumped on up. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so we're looking at a couple things on our doors here, and we're looking at our optic sensors, and we want to make sure that our optic sensors are no higher than the garage floor than 6 inches. It looks like we got that. We want to make sure that our control wires are not held to the wall, or held to the wall with insulated staples, and these are not. I've seen some insulated staples over by the control buttons, but I'm not seeing insulated staples here. Okay? So we don't have insulated staples. We do have, what I want is spring tension notices, which this door has in proper spring tension, but we got spring tension notices on the corners of both the doors, and we got pull handles inside of both the doors. This door over here, this is the west door. Okay, as you're facing the house, it's the right one, leaving the house, it's the left one, it's the west, house faces the north. And so this door's got some damage on it. It's been boogered up a little bit. Why has it got damage on it, bud? I don't know. Maybe they didn't disengage the locks. Okay, so somebody locked the door and then forgot about it and tried to open the door, and they bent the door all up. You see, these locks right here are supposed to be, you're supposed to put a bolt in there. You put a bolt right in there so that way you don't accidentally bend your door up. So now we're looking for safety notices. Well, that used to be a safety notice, but it's not legible any longer. This one is almost legible. Okay, so I'm going to say we don't have one on this damaged door over here. Most of this is like simultaneous. And we come along here. Our control buttons are not supposed to be closer to the ground than 5 feet to keep little hands from getting to them. And we're supposed to have a safety notice. See that right there? That could be a safety notice. We're supposed to have. This is an insulated staple. So our control buttons, one of them is not illuminated. Okay. They're too low, and we don't have a safety notice. Now, when this house was built, it wasn't required to have GFCI in the garage, on the garage ceiling at least. It wasn't required to have GFCI up here, and it doesn't. But in the meantime, okay, well, it's a safety device, and we don't have GFCI. So if this motor was a short out, you got a metal door. If you're touching the door, you could be the path of least resistance. You could be the grounding rod. And that came from a 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, 20-something years ago, a 5-year-old boy in Houston. And his last words was, "Somebody get me off of this thing." I know it's a horrible story I like to tell, but it kind of draws it, brings it on home. It brings it on home. So we got a little bit of damage right there, like I said. With this door, we don't have the GFCI. Now, I do not do block tests. I'm not required to, by the way. Texas Real Estate Commission doesn't require block tests, and I don't do them. I write it on my inspection agreement that my client signed. I'm telling you right now, I don't do a block test. What I will do is I'll test the optic sensor. I'll take my big old flat zombie hook. I'll come over here. I'll say, "Close sesame." Oh, there's a light in there. Is there? No, I wanted there to be one. "Close sesame." And then I come on over here and I break the optic sensor. "Open sesame." Look at that. Okay, works like it's supposed to. Now, why didn't I get the other one to do? Well, listen to that guy go. Woo. Is that loud to you? Loud to me. Okay. So the east door spring is not adjusted properly. The balanced tension spring is not adjusted. The east unit is too loud. The west unit is bent up. Okay, we're missing on both systems. We're missing our that's an insulated staple. I guess it's just this door that has. Are you insulated? Yeah, you're insulated. So the east door does not have the insulated staples. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I'm going to say we're missing our spring tension, our safety notices. We do have our spring tension. I'm going to say we're missing our safety notices. And we got damage on this door. I think I mentioned that already. And that door spring, I mentioned that already. The control buttons are too low, and we do not have a warning notice right there. Bonus round. I love this. Time for a little Inspector Theater. All right. Can I come in? Come on in, Mr. Fire. The door is open for you. Thank you. You always make me feel so warm and welcome. I love that joke. I love that joke. All right. But no, this door is supposed to have an automatic spring on it. They weren't required when the house was built. No, it's supposed to have an automatic spring on it. Well, they don't do that here in this part of this county. No, you're supposed to have an automatic door closer. Most of the things you care about are on this side of the door. This door's supposed to close all the time. I get it. It's a nuisance when you're bringing your groceries in, right? I get it. It's a nuisance. In fact, I took my spring off. I made an educated decision to do a foolish thing. All right? But I'm telling you, this door is supposed to be an automatic closer. All right, bonus round number 2. This is a keyless deadbolt, which means you can work the deadbolt from inside, but you can't work it from outside. All right? And we've got a peephole in our garage. So if somebody wants to come through here, you can look in there and you can see them. This feature is very common to rental property. I'm not saying that this ever was rental property, but I'm saying that this feature is very common to rental property. So that it kind of gets me, just think about things.